Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Saturday the 22nd of March. I am flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Okay, we are 1-1 this week with the bookmakers. Wednesday we got a point and then they got a point back again from Friday. So 1-1, I mean overall a couple of quid profit for the week, heading to the weekend. So aim is to be fairly swift on this one. We'll do the review of Friday, which won't take long. I'll go through Saturday's bets. For Saturday, it's same again as it was on Friday. 4 horses, 1 Yankee, 950 is the stake. All horses on the jumps and one from each of Kelso, Newbury, Bangor and Navan. So all different meetings. That is what I am offering you today. So review of Friday. We started off positively. Anamanda, that ran a reasonable enough race. It was third. 16s was the SP. 12 is what we got for the channel. And then kind of it went how I thought, but but sort of worst case scenario I thought. So both of these weren't too far away. I mean 5th and 7th overall. But if you watch that race, I don't know what that jockey was doing in the straight. Like he literally ran further than everybody else. He went all the way over to the rail. You only do that if you're coming in off behind at Dundalk. You don't want to just go all the way over to the rail. Most of the time, you're better off coming at the middle. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, they did go up at fair pace, but there we go. Not good enough on the day, those two. And then that one did come in a little bit, not as much as I thought it might do. But ran no sort of race at all, like literally not interested. It can be very, very frustrating, this game, sometimes when you're watching. You just think, I mean, you were just so far behind, what was the point of turning up, kind of thing. Maybe just to get a couple of points off your handicap mark, maybe that's why. So 170 return is what the channel got for 950. If you were exactly in, you got the 16 to 1, then you could have been on a £2.10 return. You could have got that 40 pence extra. All right. So we obviously still on that recovery mission from the hole I put us in on Cheltenham last week. And here is Saturday's offering. These 4. Okay, so the only one on the TV is the 225 at Kelso. It's the big field runner race at 2 mile and 5. Yeah, found myself riding solo. Very tricky as all these North Series finals are. But I thought, just from a pricing point of view, that was the one that stuck out to me riding solo. I still think it's progressing, even though it may be at a slow pace. But they qualified it for this race 2 runs ago, so it could get in. By riding it in a qualifier, and then they went and won a sort of nothing maiden, but won it comfortably, so it's not been actually put up from a mark, and the most it's gone on hurdles is 2.4, so I think this 2.5 will see it out better. I think it's probably potentially a 3 miler really. So yeah, I think it'll progress for that, and there's not much in a lot of these, but from a price point of view, 18 is far too big for the chances that we come in top 5 if we've still got 5 places, which is what we've got at the time of making the video. And then we've got 3 horses all over chasers. 252 Bangor, Lime Tree Boy needs to bounce back. I mean, it's a John Joe O'Neill horse, which is stable form's terrible. But there is old form in the book, and I think it's one of those horses that at some point will suddenly jump back to form. Whether it's today, don't know, but in the context of the race, kind of amount of runners, price, all that sort of stuff factored in, it just scraped in. So a Lime Tree Boy, 252 at Bangor. And then we go to Ireland for the 430, which is currently, I think that's a 16 runner, novice chase handicap. And yeah, price-wise, really quite like Jasmine Ducot. I think there's a nice bit of mileage in that price, because you've got quite a few horses that are particularly unexposed. Novice chase handicaps, quite a few unexposed horses, but particularly unexposed. And I think this one's a little bit overlooked for Paul Nolan. It ran not a great race last time at Fairyhouse, but I think that the ground was too soft. I think my read of the form is that horse is better on good/yielding ground, which is what we've got currently forecast, unless there's an absolute deluge. So with better ground will suit. 2 runs ago, it ran in a really interesting 3 mile handicap at Leopardstown, which sequestered one, and then went on to run another good race at the DRF meeting, I think it was. And there's a lot of horses in that race that were sort of fancied and just didn't perform. And I think because it finished a distant third, it's sort of been a little bit overlooked. But I think if you actually watch the race, the horse ran a very funny race. It was up with the pace. It made a bit of a blunder. It went to the back. It ended up staying on, coming third. And I think this is probably the next time that they're really going to try with it in a handicap. Sean O'Keefe's back on. He's run it quite a few times, but not in that handicap. I just think overall the chances of the horse coming fifth in a race like this are actually a lot better than the odds suggest. So that's in. And then 5 o'clock, this horse has got smashed already, but that is what happens with this horse. I've been following this horse all season. I don't know if I've actually put it up on the bet or not. I can't remember, but I think Newbury 2 miles is probably quite good for it. Better Ground's probably quite good for it. But yeah, it does such funny things in the betting market. I think it could go up 40s when the market opened. It may well drift out again by the time of the race, but it's one of those ones you need the jumping to get right. It needs a decent round of jumping, and that's it. Sort of seems to be its Achilles heel, which is not ideal when you're running on a chase, is it? But a decent round of jumping, and that horse is a framer. That's what's got in its way, and it's not a bad jumper. It just is made too many mistakes in some of the races it's come in. So it's going down the handicap mark, and it's handicapped to run well with a clear round of jumping or one odd mistake. That's not too bad. So Jetronic is in. So 25p each way Yankee, 50p each way singles. Sky are better for place terms because legs 1 and 3 they're paying 6 places in these big handicaps. That might change with non-runners. Everybody else is pretty much the same, which is 5, 3, 5 and 2. 9.50 is the bet. That's the bet. I think that's it, guys. I think I might have actually done this without even getting anywhere near to 10 minutes, which is miraculous and remarkable, and all of the other words like that you want to put in a sentence together. So I'm going to leave it like that. I am expecting that there will be a Sunday video on Saturday evening because there's some interesting racing. So Carlisle's on, some interesting handicaps there, and then there's a couple of bits over in Ireland. There's one jumps meeting, one flat meeting. And then the outlook for beginning of next week is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. May well end up being no bet days. If there are a bet, I'd be surprised if it was beyond like 2 horses or something. So it's likely to do something for Sunday. I would say at this stage it's less likely that there'll be anything Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. But I will update you as and when we get nearer to those. All right. Thanking you for all the lovely support that you give the channel, even like on a Friday when there's not much to cheer. And I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.